Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'll be giving my persuasive speech. I'd like to start this off with the fact that I don't think any of us would have expected to be alive in the midst of such a pandemic that affected all our lives. And matter of fact, what we do now could affect us and those around us for weeks, months, maybe even years, or their entire life. Which is kind of why I'm here to hopefully either shift your opinions to stay inside or maybe reinforce those opinions of staying inside and helping slow, or as they say, stop the curve or flatten the curve. Today I will persuade you to stay inside or reinforce your opinion to stay inside. I will also be going over the protests and the risks that those kind of actions run in not really helping relieve the state orders to stay inside. And lastly, I'll be going over how we can maybe use social media to voice our opinions, but mostly on how we can help combat the spread of this new virus, with helpful tips from a worldwide health organization. And finally, we will try and spread the word. I'm sure many of you are anxious to get back into this world. How I'm anxious to get back into this world. I miss going out with friends and such. But if we do not play our parts, stay inside, we may not get that anytime soon. Which is why we need to stick to it. As a CNN article titled, "Protests Erupt Again Over Coronavirus Shelter-in-Place Orders. Here's why some governments are budging," states, and I quote, "States shouldn't start to reopen until they have a downward trajectory of documented cases." That's not a quote from a person, but it's actually in one of the orders. It's actually a government document that was issued to fight this pandemic. As many of you have heard, many people are going against these restrictions in the USA, such as in Pennsylvania, where the protests are being held at, and now even California is starting to have miniature protests erupting all over. As USA Today's article titled, "Anti-Quarantine Rally in Pennsylvania Draws About 2,000 People in Latest Protests Against Coronavirus Restrictions," which is kind of the focus of my speech, as yes, it is a good thing to try and fight for, I guess, repairing social life that is probably being ruined during this quarantine, but it's also bringing a huge risk to the health of those involved and those at home who those people will go to, and it actually is kind of just shooting themselves in the foot, as coronaviruses increase, the orders get extended for longer and longer periods of time. However, there is a solution to this possible escalation of infection rates, and that is to stay inside. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter are all good places to voice opinions and have them be heard, as our president is kind of an example of how he makes his opinions widely known through social media. But there's also other tips, which is provided by the World Health Organization, and its page on how to combat this virus is a few simple steps. Wash your hands, social distance yourself, avoid those who are sick, always wear a mask, and if you have to go outside, then go out. But that's only in absolute emergencies, such as medical attention for yourself or a loved one, or groceries, and basically groceries. It's clear that these are dark times in everyone's life. I'm pretty sure of it. But if we all stick together and do our part in staying inside and following the steps provided by the World Health Organization, we'll be able to contain this pandemic and get out earlier, repairing social lives that we otherwise would have lost during this. As a title on livescience.com titled, "Coronavirus, What is Flattening the Curve and Will It Work?" states, if we all play our parts, the curve that otherwise meant our incarceration in our own homes could mean that we could go outside. More things will slowly start opening if we do our part, following the steps, staying inside, using social media to voice your outrages. That curve will go down and we'll go back to our normal lives. Normal-esque. I'm pretty sure that after this, plenty of people are still going to be with masks and sanitizing everything like that person from Can the Hat. If you get that reference. Double points. Alright, things are slowly getting better though, thanks to some people who do follow the steps. And I'm sure a lot of you actually do follow the steps. I don't think there's that many people who want to get sick. But then again, there's always that little minority that's kind of economy. But it's better to take these steps, be much more cautious, and maybe even suffer a little bit in your own home to help slowly flatten that curve and be able to go outside quicker and save lives. It's not just about social life, but saving actual lives. It's better to do that than to go out, risk getting yourself and those around you infected just to stay inside even longer. Statistics provided by Statista.com show that the cases are not going down, but they're also not shooting up at an alarming rate. We're at currently 3 million. But let's all remember to do our part. Stay inside and wash your hands regularly if you come in contact with something or someone from the outside. Remember that it is a scary time for us and we have to look out for one another. So stay safe and spread the word.